So you're thinking about moving to Reno. Go ahead, grab something, and let's take some notes. It's even okay if you grab that folder on your iPhone that has 187 screenshots called Reno Stuff, because this is your ultimate relocation guide to Reno for 2026. And look, moving to a new city, well, it's a lot. It can be exciting, sure, but it can also be kind of overwhelming if we're being totally honest. How do I know? Because I made that jump from California back in 2015 simply because even at that time, the math stopped mathing. And if you're anything like most people I talk to every week, well, your mind is running 100 miles an hour with questions like these. Is Reno actually safe, or is it just what the real estate websites say? What neighborhood should I even be looking for? How bad is the traffic? Because when I talk to people, they say traffic's bad everywhere. Can I even afford this, or am I about to make a very expensive mistake? And what about schools? My kids are in the 3rd and the 5th grade, and I want them to have the very best education that I can provide. And wait, isn't Reno that place with casinos, or is that a thing of the past? And you're probably wondering how I knew you were asking yourself all these questions. 2 reasons: because my team and I have helped relocate hundreds of families over the years, and I've had these exact same conversations so many times I could probably do it in my sleep. And 2, it's because I made this jump myself back in 2015. And that happened when I finally looked up in the mirror and said, why am I working this hard just to get by? So I'm gonna answer all these questions in this video. The big ones, the annoying ones, and the ones you're probably too embarrassed to ask. And if you still have questions by the end, and you probably will, because moving can be complicated, there's 2 ways to reach me. First, hit like and subscribe and comment below. I actually read all of those and reply to them myself. And the other way is to go to meetwithchris.com and book a one-on-one call with me and my team, and we'll be happy to answer all those questions. It's Zoom and it's free, and it's just us going through your particular situation. No pressure, no sign here moments, just simple clarity. All right. Let's get back to the video. Now, let's start with what people think Reno is. And before we go any further, let's get a couple things cleared up, because I guarantee some of you are watching this video with a preconceived idea of what Reno actually looks like. Some of you are thinking slot machines, retirees and visors, and carpet that hasn't been updated in the buffet since the Clinton administration. We need to fix that picture. Reno is not Las Vegas. Most locals aren't hanging out in the casinos. I don't even go unless it's to eat. So gambling is definitely not why people are making the move. If it was, my phone would ring a lot less and this video would be a lot shorter. Reno today is more about coffee shops who take their espresso very serious. I mean Portland level serious. We have tech jobs, data centers, and the Tesla Gigafactory, which is only about 20 minutes outside of Sparks. We also have outdoor access that doesn't require you to plan your entire life around it just to enjoy it. And there's so much to do, you won't need a second job just to afford having access to all of it. What we hear back from people who make that move here is they just want to breathe again. And that has nothing to do with slot machines. So why we hear so many people leave California and make that move to Reno is not because they're bored. They're making the move because something in their life breaks. Not dramatically, it's just because they realize one day that the math has stopped working. So here's a list of real reasons I hear, and not just the polite ones. Property taxes in California have begun to feel like you're funding a small country. Gas prices have begun to feel personal, like Chevron has beef with you personally. But of course, now they're leaving California for all the same reasons. Homeowners insurance? Good luck. Some areas have even become uninsurable. Wildfire stress? Because every August has you checking your phone like, is today when we have to evacuate? Then that commute is stealing hours of time out of your life every week. You're successful, you're working hard, and California's way of treating you is that you need to be taxed into submission. The rules keep changing, the fees keep stacking, and your privacy, well, that keeps disappearing. You're paying luxury fees for average living. And eventually, like myself, you finally start to feel like it's just not working anymore. Not of working hard, but of working hard and not feeling like you're getting ahead. And in Reno, people commonly refer back to me and tell me they're feeling stuff that they haven't felt in years. Simply put, relief. They drive across town in 15 minutes and think Google's map is broken. They get their first property tax bill and I get these calls going, "Chris, is this right? This seems really low." And yes, that's the entire bill. And here's the other part that people don't realize until they get here. It's not just that your property taxes are lower. Nevada actually has a constitutional property tax cap. That means here in Washoe County, your property taxes are predictable year after year. No Mellorees, no special assessment roulette, and no surprise bills showing up like a jump scare, which means boring taxes are the best kind. All right, quick pause here. If this video is already answering those questions that you have open in those 17 browser tabs, well, you do not have to figure out the rest alone. And you definitely don't need another Reddit opinion or a blog post from someone who doesn't even live here. If you're considering making that move to Reno, go to meetwithchris.com. We'll walk you through the neighborhoods, the numbers, the schools, the commute, and what living here actually looks like for you that matches your lifestyle. No awkward sales pitch, just straight answers and clarity before you make an expensive mistake. All right, let me prepare you for something that nobody warned you about, and that is the transition shock that's sure to happen. And that is the transition shock. These are some moments that you're going to have when you move here, because they're going to happen. And the first one is the DMV visit that will confuse you. You'll walk in expecting the 9th Circuit of Hell, because that's what the DMV actually means in California. You'll park, you'll walk in, and then they're gonna call your number, like immediately. You'll look around like, did I miss something? Am I about to go to the DMV jail? Nope. That's just how it works here. Then that first utility bill will feel like something's missing. You're gonna open it, and then you're gonna say to yourself, this can't be it. Congratulations, that's the entire bill. Your first commute will feel like Google Maps is broken. It's gonna say 13 minutes and there's just no way that could be true. Well, it is. And around 2, you're gonna notice something else. You're not constantly rushing around anymore. You're just living. I've had people actually call me and say, "Chris, I didn't even realize how stressed I was till I wasn't in it anymore." That's the most common thing I hear. Not that Reno's perfect, just that I can breathe again. Then we want to talk about altitude, because this really does matter. It's the one thing I never hear anybody talking about, and that's because Reno's floor sits on about 4,500 feet in elevation. For most people, long term, this is a non-issue. But over the course of the first week or 2, you might notice a few things. That could be shortness of breath, mild headaches, getting dehydrated faster, and you might even feel like your sleep's off. It's nothing scary, and it's nothing permanent. It's just altitude. And the fix for this is really advanced, so take your notes. Drink more water, take it easy the first week, and don't try to prove anything by running up those hills on day 3. Most people make those adjustments within about the 1st to 3rd week, and after that, they don't even think about it anymore. So no, you're not broken, you just moved to the mountains. So next up is neighborhoods. And I did an entire video on the top 5 neighborhoods because this part matters, and it matters a lot. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see that people make is choosing a neighborhood based on photos and not actually on lifestyle. They'll say, this one looks nice, and then I'm gonna ask, well, don't you work downtown? Because that's gonna now become a 35-minute commute. I usually will hear, oh, I didn't think about that. Well, we're gonna think through this, and we're gonna make sure that we match your next house up with your lifestyle. South Reno has newer homes, master planned communities, Costco, trails, and Whole Foods. They also have strong schools, low crime, and it's family friendly. It just works. South Reno has bigger lots, mature trees, custom homes, more character, more privacy, and little to no HOAs. Northwest Reno and Somerset has golf, trails, views, and slightly cooler temps. It's resort-style living without the resort-style chaos. Then we have Sparks and Spanish Springs, which brings more house for the money and bigger garages. This is a great place for families who want more value but without being too far out. Then there's Midtown and Downtown. This brings walkability, coffee, breweries, and plenty of personality. So if you liked the idea of San Francisco but hated the reality, this could be your place. Pretty doesn't always equal practicality. This is why you should choose a neighborhood that fits your lifestyle and not your Instagram. So let's talk internet, work, and the airport. Because if you work remotely like I do, and I do mean a lot, then Reno is absolutely a legitimate option. High-speed internet is widely available. Fiber is very common in newer communities. Zoom works, uploads work, and life just works. And let's talk about the airport. The Reno Tahoe International Airport serves almost 5 million passengers every year. Its direct flights to places like San Francisco, LA, San Diego, Seattle, Phoenix, Denver, Dallas, Chicago, and even New York on certain times of the year. And here's the underrated part. The TSA lines are short, so you won't have to emotionally prepare before going through the TSA security check. It also means that the airport's not going to age you 5 years on every trip. The airport's also undergoing a major renovation right now that I did an entire video on, and they are preparing for the growth that's still to come. But let's talk about who Reno is not for. This is a quick reality check because Reno's not for everyone. So if you need ocean humidity every day, then this is not your place. It's dry here. Your skin's gonna notice. Lotion will become a lifestyle. And if nightlife till 3 a.m. is a non-negotiable, then you're gonna run out of options. And if you hate wind, spring's going to test your patience. Also, if you hate driving, you need to know that this is a driving city. And if you can't handle real seasons with snow, wind, and change, then Reno might not be your soulmate. And that's okay. It's better for you to know that now than after you move. So here's my final thoughts. Reno's not perfect. It's got wind, it's got smoke some years, and it definitely has some growing pains. But for a lot of people leaving California, Reno solves a lot of problems. It's giving people breathing room, which a lot of people need and want. You'll also get your time back. You're gonna get stability, and you're gonna have a life that doesn't feel like a constant uphill battle. I made that move from California here over a decade ago, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. Not because Reno's perfect, but because my life finally felt balanced again among all the other benefits of making the move. So this begs the question, and it's also the real question. Does making this move solve more problems for you than it creates for you and your family? If you want help figuring that out, go to meetwithchris.com and book a one-on-one call. No pressure, just a real conversation. I'm Chris Rayner, your go-to realtor for all things Reno. So until next time, stop paying those taxes that feel like a bad relationship and get out there and enjoy some mountain views. Thanks for watching.